Thanks for clicking to watch this video. My name is Onyechi Evangeline Choma and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So I made this corset dress for a client going for Ashebi, and as you can see, she likes the outcome. So if you want to know the process, keep watching. Without wasting much time, let's dive into the tutorials.
Shoulder line, then I have from my shoulder to my chest line, then from my shoulder to my bust point, which is about 10 inches. Then I have my shoulder to my under bust, 13 inches. From my shoulder to my half length, 17 inches, and my shoulder to my hip, I have 24 inches. But this is not going to be the length of my top. The length of my top is going to be 22 inches, but to be on the safer side, I just want to mark 24 inches so I can get my hip curve down there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert my shoulder line. My shoulder divided by 2 is 7 inches. Then on this chest line, I'm going to also mark 7 inches, then square a line across. Okay, so from this point, I'm going to mark the round neck. I'm using neck of 2.5 by 2.5 because it's a turtleneck, and I don't want it to be wide. All right, so I'm going to connect these two lines together using a very nice curve. Then after that, from this my shoulder, I'm going to come down here by 1 inch, then square a line for my shoulder slope. So this is for my shoulder slope. Next is to divide my bust point by 4. I'm using bust of 36. Divided by 4, I have 9 inches. So I'm going to mark the 9 inches here. Then whatsoever I have on this line, I'm going to divide by 2. And when divided by 2, this is what I have. So from this point where I marked, I'm going to come in here by half an inch for my armhole curve, and connect the 3 points together using a very nice curve. Okay, so this is it about the armhole curve. So on this point, I'm going to divide my bust span measurements. For my nipple to nipple, I have total of 7. Divided by 2, I have 3.5. Go ahead and measure your client from one nipple to another in order to insert your dart measurement. Okay, so I have 3.5, and that is what I am taking down. So after that, I'm going to square line across. So let me go ahead and label this line. This is my chest line, this is my bust line, this is my under bust line, this is my half length, and this is the full my hip line. This is my hip line. So after that, from this my under bust line, I'm going to mark 0.75 on both sides. On this other half length, I'm going to mark the same thing, 0.75, 0.75. On the hip line, I'm also going to mark the same thing, making a total of 1.5 inches. So after that, I'm going to connect the lines together. So after connecting the lines together, I'm going to come down here by half an inch. You can come down by half an inch to 0.75 inches on both sides. Come through the down and up. Okay, so I'm taking out total of 1 inch here. Then after that, I'm going to use a very nice curve on this place. So this is it about my dart. Next thing I'm going to do is to determine how covered I want my bust to be, the height of my chest. So from my bust point, I'm coming up here by 2 inches. So I'm going to extend this line. So after that, I'm going to, for my upper bust tightening, I'm coming out here by 1/2 inch on both sides. 1/2 inch on both sides, after which I connect the line together. Now after that, I'm going to make a very nice curve here. So on this chest line, I'm coming down here by 1/2 inch. Then I'm also going to keep 1/2 inch towards the center front. Okay, so let me mark it 1/2 inch, okay, on both sides. Then I'll make a curve. So after that, from my under bust line, I'm going to connect it to this line dot I made here. Alright, so on this other part, I'm going to divide this into two. The distance between this my shoulder line and my bust point divided by 4. I'm going to get the midpoint. This is 1 inch. So I'm going to come down here by 0.75 inches for ease. Then make a curve there. Okay. Alright, so this is what we have here. So next thing I'm going to do now is that I'm going to determine the keyhole neckline. And to do that, I'm going to come down here from my neck width, from my neck depth rather. I'm coming down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to also measure 5 inches and square and make a curve down there. So by the time you cut on both sides, you'll be having like total of 10 inches. So that's what we have here. Then I'm going to start inserting my measurements back. So on my chest line, I have total of 9 inches, and I have one inch here that I'm taking out for that. I'm going to also add it here. Then for my waistline, I'm using total waist of 28 inches. This is 28 inches divided by 2, divided by 4. I have 7 inches. Then I'm going to add 1.5 inches that I took out for my dart over there. Then my hip, I'm using hip of 42 inches divided by 4. I have 10.5. So I'm going to mark 10.5 right there and connect the lines together. So after connecting the lines together, just like I said earlier, I want the length of my top to be shorter. I want it to be 22 inches. So this is the full length of my top. I'm going to make a curve. I'm going to make a curve here. So after making this curve, I'm going to measure it to know what I have there. So this is almost 3.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 3.5 inches and reconnect back. So this way, when you fold it together or when you cut out the darts, you'll be having a very nice curve. So you can see how the curve is, or you can just fold and recurve to give you a perfect curve. Just fold it and so we are no more making use of this curve. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pattern and show you the next thing to do. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together to form one piece using my tape. Then make sure to align the two pieces together. So for the back parts, I have my shoulder line here, and I also have my chest line and my half length. That's the full length of my top. But if you want your top to be longer, you can as well. Let me get this front pattern and show you. From this half length, you come down by 2 inches or 3 inches depending on how long you want the top to be by the side. So what I'm going to do now is to divide my shoulder by 2. When divided by 2, I have about 7 inches because I'm working with shoulder of 14 inches. So I have 7 inches, and on my chest line I recorded 7 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and square a line across. The next thing I'm going to do now is to determine my neck width, and I'm using 2.5 inches, but for the depth I'm using total of 0.75 because it's a turtleneck. And here I'm going to go ahead and mark 0.75 inches and square a line across to give me a perfect curve. So after making a curve, I'm going to mark 1 inch from this line. So after that, just connect it to your neck width. So after that, next thing I'm going to do now is to get my bust divided by 4, which I have 9 inches. Then I'm going to make a curve there to connect with this line. Okay. So after that, I'm going to determine how deep I want the back to be open. Okay, so I'm going with total of 9 inches. Okay, 9 inches from this place, and total of, let's make it total of 10 inches. So I'm going with total of 10 inches from my shoulder line. So I'm going to square a line over there. So what we have here is 10 inches, and I'm going to make a curve here. I'm going to come down here by 2 inches. It depends on you, however you want yours. You can decide to come down by 1 inch, you can decide to come down by 2 inches, however you want it. So I'm coming down here by 2 inches, and I'm going to connect it. Just determine how wide you want yours to be. So this is my chest line divided by my bust point divided by 4. This is what I have here, and I'm using total of 7 inches for the back opening. So the whole of this place is going to be open. So for the contouring, I'm using total of 2.5 inches because I'm going to insert loop here. So I'm going to make use of 2.5 inches all the way down. So after that, I'm going to insert my waist measurement. My waist measurement divided by 4 is 7 inches. So I'm going to square a line. So entirely these whole ones are going out. So this is how the back pattern looks like. I'm going to insert loops here, and that is it about the basic bodies.